Hello, I'm Father Bill Rakowitz from Loyola on the Potomac Retreat House. I'd like to share with you some of my thoughts on New Year's resolutions. Though the atmosphere was subdued this year, New Year's meant novelty and welcome change. Champagne bottles popping open and people making festive noise, however small it was. For me, this joy is not merely secular. With Christmas a week earlier, we remembered the world has changed. God has been born into the world and is still present among us in his Holy Spirit. Isaiah chapter 43, verse 19 comes to mind. God says, "Look, I am doing something new. Don't you see it?" God, the Almighty, the source of life and all that is good, beautiful, just, and true, dwells in our midst. With God in our midst, the world has been recreated, healed, and given a second chance. As the book of Revelation says in chapter 5, "Behold, I am making all things new." During the Christmas season, we were called to relive the miracle of Emmanuel, God with us. And now in the new year, we are called to be charged and quickened by the spirit of this miraculous event. Something new has indeed occurred under the sun. And like Paul, who said to the Philippians, we realize we now can do everything through Christ, who gives us strength. And so we make our New Year's resolutions. Can we do everything? Hard as I try, I can never go against the genes I inherited. Here we have to realize that when Paul said everything, he meant spiritual gifts, not the goods and entities of this world. Thus, in making a resolution, promising to change a behavior or habit, we realize we are calling on God's help and grace and not making a superhuman act of the will. For God to grant us this desire, this new act cannot benefit just ourselves, but must also be a benefit to others. To successfully make a resolution, we need to change our thoughts of impossibility to that all is possible with God. To change from human failure to thoughts of divine success. When we make the resolution, we need to remember that our actions will be done in a human, fumbling manner, and not superhumanly perfect. And when we fail, we will pick ourselves up. Lastly, in a resolution, we must realize this change will require work and resolve, effort on our parts, and will not come about miraculously, effortlessly. To accomplish this, we have to go outside the box of general human understanding that work is some grueling task, and see the resolution more like a puzzle or game in which we are taking up, playing in the fields of the Lord. Finally, when we have achieved this new activity of our New Year's resolution, we will give all the credit to God, the source of our inspiration. As time changes, we're now in the year 2021. Is there still something in our lives that need to change? that are still an obstacle, a stumbling block in our relationship with God? Or is there something that prevents us from fully loving our spouse, family, or neighbor? Finally, does something need to change in us that prevents us from being the person God created with our unique abilities and talents? This is the stuff of which resolutions should be made of. I now invite you to ask God's help to make a resolution this new year so that you may change and live more lively and fully as God intended for you. Thank you.